don't sound good at all. So lately in the black turbo fox body, we've noticed a loss of power and a rough idle, especially at first startup, and you can hear it in the pump. Something's not right. Yeah, that definitely didn't sound good at all. We've done a number of changes to the black turbo fox body recently with the turbo stuff. I think today we need to address another situation that we have going on that we probably should have maintained a year ago. Now this is going to be relatable whether you have a factory fox body or a aftermarket fox body making 1,000 or 500 or 600 or whatever. So if a pump like this looks familiar, or if a stock pump like this looks familiar, you're going to want to stick around and see what we got to say in this video. Now, as most of you guys know that's been following the channel, this is my black turbo fox body that's got a 363 stroker, an on-free 7875 turbo, and a B&G modified turbo kit. So today's video is going to be focusing on our fuel system, as we got a couple issues getting worse over time that we need to address here in the turbo fox body. We have already addressed these problems on our white car, and it definitely showed that there was an issue. And it definitely showed at the dyno, and it definitely showed on the pressure regulator that we rectified a problem. As you seen earlier in the video, when I tried to start the car, it sounded like it was sick. It sounded like it had like low voltage. Pretty much can guarantee you that we have a bunch of E85 goo inside of our MagnaFuel 750 pump. I'm willing to bet that our filters are completely clogged. We haven't changed this stuff probably 2 or 3 years, and probably at least 100 passes at the track and probably 3 or 4 or 6,000 miles on the street. And we're going to talk about some of the things that are maintenance things on fox bodies that you need to be aware of, whether you're running a stock pump or you're running an aftermarket fuel system. It all applies in this video. So let me get my fox body up in the air. We'll get underneath of it and I'll show you what I'm talking about. Not exactly the best mounting spot, but I mean, this is my street car and you know, it is what it is. We put our 750 right here as a plate behind this plastic cover, and we have a sump tank. I've got a dash 10, dash 8 return. I actually return over here to the corner. This keeps it from aerating the actual fuel inside. This thing has not been touched in several years. It's pretty easy disconnect. I'm gonna have to be careful here. I'm gonna have to actually bring the car back down, take my battery cable off my negative side so I don't get any spark here. This is a pre-filter and this is a post-filter. I'm pretty sure this pump needs to go back to the MagnaFuel, and we'll talk about that here in a little bit. So let me go ahead and disconnect my negative side, negative terminal of my battery so we don't get no spark. Fuel pump maintenance and fuel filter maintenance is very important. As you can see here, I got a stock fuel pump and a stock strainer. On stock applications, usually there's a fuel filter right up here in that bracket, and that's where it goes. And you guys pretty much as a maintenance thing every year should be replacing this, as a lot of gunk from your tank that doesn't get caught in the strainer could clog up your fuel system and, you know, cause for poor performance like you seen earlier in the video with my car running like shit. I guarantee you when I clean these filters out and we get this pump put in this car, it's going to be a different car. About $7 at the parts store. Fuel filter, same thing, $7, $8, whatever. Maintenance item. I know it's kind of a pain in the ass to pull this thing out of your tank, but it's definitely at that point a good time to maybe do the wiring upgrade and or a pump upgrade at that point. But again, this is a stock setup, and what we're talking about here in a video is sufficient for both stock setups and higher performance applications. Let me get my wrenches and we'll actually pull up the spill cart and we'll get this pump and these filters out, and I'll show you what I'm talking about in our solvent tank as we clean the filters out, put a new pump in. All right, so we have to actually take some of these fittings off when we get over there to the new pump and put these ones on. They're O-ringed. So we got to get this line off right here, which is going to kind of make a mess. That's okay though. Get a chance to look at these pumps. Actually, that's not too bad.
So I do recall changing the filters earlier in the season, the pre-filter and the post-filter, but I didn't touch the pump, and the pump's been like 3 years old, and you can definitely tell that it was getting old.
Wow, that actually doesn't look terrible. Probably needs to be washed and blowed out. But so much like the aftermarket one, the strainer acts as like a pre-filter like you would see over here on the Turbo Foxbody, the first filter. So it kind of keeps a lot of the garbage out from the tank. This is definitely something that's a maintenance item, needs to be replaced. And then that second filter that I took off, the post filter, is definitely something, you know, it's the filter bracket you see right there. That's kind of the same, you know, application here. These weren't terrible. I think I got new ones to put in. I don't think that was our issue. I think our pump was just kind of going bad. You'll definitely be able to tell just by listening to it. Get the fittings switched over to the new pump, and it's pretty much a quick, easy install, as they use the same brackets, the same fittings for positive and negative. And then, you know, we'll put our filters back together and put some fuel in it and fire it up. Maybe even go for a ride before the end of the video. We'll see. So what I actually have here is a replacement. I'm not going to actually need to put the brackets on because I've already got the bracket mounted. So what happens, folks, is pretty simple. You send this stuff back to MagnaFuel. What I'm going to do with the pump that's coming out is I'm going to actually send it back to MagnaFuel, and for about 150 bucks, they will actually rebuild my pump for me. You can see some of the stuff in the last pump with the brush board, the armature bearings. There was quite a bit of wear inside of my old pump, but they just went ahead pretty much free of labor for the most part, fixed the pump for me. So this is an old pump that we had on the white car. We're going to stick this or rebuilt pump on the black Turbo Foxbody, and we already have one in this box, so we're going to actually send two back, and we're going to have one for the shelf because we got to do one for the coupe. This was actually upgraded. This used to be a 625 MagnaFuel, and they actually upgraded it to a 750. They rebuild the pumps for like 150 bucks. These are like $600 pumps. So don't throw them away. Don't sell them when they're used or whatever. I got one on Facebook with a bunch of extra parts and literally paid for itself. Let me get these fittings switched over. We'll go mount it back up. We'll clean the filters and we'll get the car started. So let's go ahead and stick the battery cable back on. It's a pretty easy, simple process. Aftermarket pumps usually are mounted back here anyways, so it was a pretty easy swap over. We had to blow a little bit of debris because this is a pre-filter. It's got a lot more microns in it than the post filter. These pumps over time, they just get a bunch of goo and garbage stuck up in them, and you know, they wear out. Let's get some fuel in it and see how well and how much more healthy it is and see if we got any leaks. Go ahead and check for some leaks. See if we got anything going on here. I don't see anything. Okay, we got 10 gallons of E85 in. Let's see if that actually made a difference. Wow, that sounds 10 times better. We're gonna go ahead and get it off the lift here. We haven't got no leaks. We'll go out on the street, we'll run it around town a little bit. Definitely sounds better. Pump's healthy, it's brand new. I'm happy. Stock pumps need this sort of maintenance too, with the strainer and the fuel filter that I showed you on the bracket. Spot down by the lake. See how it runs. So we'll go back to the dyno and monkey with it a little bit before we pull the motor out, because, you know, we're going to do the 387, but I'm happy with it. Let's go down here and check out the lake and we'll call it a video. Alright guys, that's pretty much all I got for you for this video. I definitely wanted to bring you back down here to Lakeshore Park, about 2 miles away. Show you guys the lake one more time and the beautiful sunset, as you see out there. Really nice. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hope it helps somebody out there. If you guys enjoyed this sort of content, leave me a comment, leave me a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed, consider subscribing to the channel. We got a join button below if you'd like to give something back, as members get exclusive content to the channel. So appreciate everybody, appreciate all my members. Thank you guys again. We'll see you guys soon in the next video. Thanks for watching.